Hello, it's your boy Rahim. I'm a property investor and an estate agent. Tonight, I'm going to share with you exact criteria and requirements I use to search for my buy to let family let deals. The requirement I follow are 12 requirements. I will talk you through them in step-by-step basis. Number one, I will identify the area I want to buy my property and my budget. For family let, I tend to go for properties that are between 70,000 to 130,000 bracket. So anything over or below those amount, I don't look at for a good reason. One, anything 50k, very hard to get a mortgage on, and also 70k onwards. If it's 70k, I may be able to negotiate it down to 50k, for example, which is the sort of bracket I am able to get a suitable mortgage for. Anything on 130k, I know I'm able to negotiate it down further down to either 120, 15k or 100k. So I search for properties that are between this bracket. Two, I check the school report on Ofsted for secondary school in the area, whether they are good or outstanding, and the schools should be within 3 mile radius. The reason why I look for secondary schools is because when family move in, they will stay longer because they will not think about moving houses if there's no secondary school in that area. So I tend to look for secondary schools instead of primary school, because I know if they are doing secondary school, they tend to stay longer. We call those sort of tenant lifers. Basically, they'll stay there until their kids finish secondary school, or we call college. So I tend to look for properties around these areas. Also the schools need to be good or outstanding. Anything below that I don't tend to go for, because obviously you want to attract the right sort of clientele. And on number three, I also look for properties that has good transport link and is very close to city center, as well as town center or a big shopping area, because obviously it would be easy accessible for my tenant. Right, and again, also number four, I look at properties that are within 3 mile radius to the city center or town center or train station. Number five, I speak to free letting agents to see what they think about the property I'm looking to buy, what their intake is in terms of clientele, the demand, and what sort of rent is being paid for such properties. Six, I usually do desktop appraisal before I make any proposals, or before I even visit the property. Just want to make sure whether the figures stack up. I do check the cash flow, what is the income for those properties, as well as the running cost. For example, what the likely mortgage rate is, insurance, and the building cost, if you're gonna do any refurbishment in that property, so that I know what sort of deal I may be able to get there. That also helps me to identify whether this is a no money left in deal, or whether I'm gonna be leaving slightly some amount of money in that deal. Ideally, my deals, I don't leave any money in it. So that's the reason why doing the desktop appraisal is very, very important to this sort of to help you analyze and see whether this property is viable. Number seven, I check demand. I check demand, whether this property has a demand. How I do this, I put a fake advert, or a potential advert, basically, in Gumtree, Open Rent, and Facebook. And then if I get 15 queries, then I would say that's a thumbs up deal. That is a fantastic deal, and I can easily let it out. Anything below 10 inquiries a week, I don't touch, because I know for the fact that I'm not going to be able to let the property out. So the demand is very important also to help you make the decision, because that way you would know there's demand in the area. If you put those ads on Gumtree, Open Rent, now Facebook, it will tell you exactly whether people are interested in renting properties in that area. Number eight, I look for sold price over the last year. I don't go for under offer or prices. I go for the actual sold price, because these are the actual value or likely amount people would pay for your property instead of the wish list, which is the prices that are on the market currently, on what landlords or investors are selling their properties. I go for the sold prices on Rightmove. If you click on market info, you go down, you can see all the properties that are sold in that area. Make sure you're looking at the similar, closely similar, very similar property to the one that you are about to buy, to see what's the likely outcome would be if you were to sell the properties. I don't sell my properties because I get fantastic properties, but it's always good to know how much they would sell for your remortgage. Then you would you would roughly know, you can guesstimate whether this is a no money left in deal, or if it's a deal that you could leave tiny bits of money in it. So then number 9, I cut off the outliers. When I do my search, anything more than £10,000 outside the normal trend, I make sure I take that out, because obviously I know either the property price has been inflated or it doesn't match my criteria. So when I do the search on Gumtree, Rightmove, Zoopla, whatever platform I use, I tend to take out all the properties that are over £10,000 of my budget, because I don't want to waste time on those ones. Because I know they are basically either overpriced, or you'll just struggle to do your analysis with those such properties. Number 10, after I've got the outliers off, and then I will then work out, I then take 10 properties that are for sale in that area, right? I divide it into 10 again to get the average rate of how much I could potentially sell that property in that area. And then this also helps me know how I can negotiate with the investor or with the vendor who is selling the property. So once I've done the average, number 11, what I then do is to again knock out 25% of the asking price, and then put the offer to the landlord or to the vendor or to the agent. 25%, that's where I start, because obviously I know this is going to be a negotiation process. So that way it gives me room to negotiate and hopefully get a better deal. An advice I can also give you is be prepared to be rejected, because if you want to get an outstanding deal, if you want to get a fantastic deal, you're gonna get rejection upon rejection. But once you've got one deal, it would have been better than if you had 6 or 7 deals that you've either left your money in, or you cannot sell on, or you cannot make money out of it. So you have to be patient. Make sure you're searching at least for 20 properties a day, organize at least 10 viewings a day. That then gives you the higher probability to get a better deal. So once you've got that deal, knock out 25% straight away and put your offer across, and then you just start the negotiation. Key way also of getting the agent or the vendor on board is saying, well, it depends on what sort of strategy you are doing, is to tell them you are a cash buyer, or you use bridge to complete your deals, and you can complete within 4 to 6 weeks. That way, that then makes the seller becomes a bit more motivated to sell the property onto you, because he knows he can get his money within 4 to 6 weeks instead of waiting for a mortgage that may even fail through. So again, when you put your offer across, you need to put this on the email or the telephone conversation that you're having with the agent or the vendor. Say, listen, this is my price, this is my bottom line offer, and if you accept it, I'm happy to complete within 4 to 6 weeks. Only say this if you know that you're using bridge or you're buying the property cash. And number 12 is to ready with your expat team. According to a good coach of mine, I've read his book, Rob Moore. He said, ready, fire, aim, go. Basically, get your expat team ready. As soon as you get the deal, get them there to sort the problem out, do the refurb, to do the refurnishing, whatever you're doing to that property, make sure you've got your power team ready, make sure you've got your expert team ready, and make it happen. And you can absolutely make it happen, because prove yourself, and prove yourself to other people that it is doable. There's no magic behind it, and it's hard work, but you can absolutely do it. So if we can summarize what we've talked about in my requirement, I look for to search for deals, buy to let deals that accommodate families. I look for, number one, identify my area within my budget. My budget is 70 to 130k bracket. And then I will check the school report or Ofsted report about the secondary schools in the area, whether they are good or outstanding. Number three, I'll look at whether the property is close proximity to city center or town center. Or number four, whether it's very close proximity to a transport link and is within 3 mile radius to city center, town center, or shopping area. Number five, I will speak to 3 letting agents to understand what the going rate in that area is. Number six, I do desktop appraisal to check the cash flow and running cost. Number seven, I check the demand. How I do that, I put some fake ads on Gumtree, Open Rent, or Facebook. If I get less than 10 inquiries, I don't do the deal, because I know it's not going to benefit me and I will struggle to either sell it or rent it out. Number eight, I look for sold prices over the last year instead of houses that are under offer or are for sale. I look at the actual sold prices, because those are the those are the most probability, those are the most likely prices that your property could achieve if you were to sell it. And then I cut off the outliers, anything that are more than 10k outside my normal trend. I tend to get rid of those, because I know either the price has been inflated or they're just not properties that I will be looking for. And number 10, I work out the average price in that area, what they are selling for. I do this by dividing the 10 properties I have that are more relevant or similar to the property I'm about to buy, divide that by 10 to give me the average price. Number 11, I then deduct 25% of from the asking price and put the offer across to the vendor, agent, or the landlord. So if I'm buying a property for 100,000, for example, I will put an offer for 75,000. That is 25% off the actual asking price. Then you can start from there. Again, you emphasize whether you're using a bridge or you're buying the property for cash. Number 12 is to get my power team ready to actually do the works that are required in that property, if it is a property that you require to add value. So that's it in a nutshell of how I look for my deals. This is it. It's on the table. Implement it. You will see the difference. It will change your life. It has changed my life drastically, and that's how I've been doing to search for all my deals. I use that even to get my to secure my letting agency here in Cardiff. So if you use this criteria and this requirement, trust me, you will secure great, amazing deals. And it's that easy, guys. I mean, there's no magic behind it. If you follow those criteria, you write them down, have them as a tick box exercise, and make sure you do it and follow it, stick to it. You won't regret it. Again, my name is Rahim. If you need help with searching for deals, or advice on how to secure property deals, or you need someone to sell them on for you, manage them, let them out, or help you secure a rent-to-rent deal, I am contactable on Facebook, Rahim Bah, Instagram bar_properties, and email address you can also contactable at info@barproperties.co.uk. Thanks very much for listening. I look forward to sharing the next video.